Your boy Picomaniac. Today for you, I have a 1v1 matchup chart for Taz in Multiversus Season 2. Currently, when you hear Taz being discussed, you'll hear about how he's such a terrible character and he doesn't work properly and he's not good, when the reality of the situation is he's a pretty strong character and he has been since the release of the game. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. He's got a really consistent combo game. For the most part, there are matchups where his combos don't work as they normally would. The hit stun's just not the same as it is in other matchups, or maybe the distance that they move from the knockback of the moves is just not as good as it is in a lot of the other matchups. But today we're going to talk about it. So as you can see, I have the tier list already built. I did this video once before, but I wasn't looking my Sunday best and I got to rambling on a little bit too long. It was a little bit too long of a video. So I wanted to compact that and have the list already pre-built, and I wanted to speed run the information with each matchup for you in a timely manner. So if you're checking this out, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I don't have very big of a YouTube channel, but I'm trying to get it off the ground, so that would be very much appreciated. So starting up, let's start straight from the bottom and go to the top. So first of all, with Iron Giant, this is an unwinnable matchup for the most part. If the Iron Giant is competent, this is going to be one of the hardest matchups you have in the game. There is no character in the game that's harder for Taz to fight. It's been that way since the beta vanilla version. So some of the problems in the matchup are that you can't contest his tackle with anything but grounded soup and tornado. And obviously, if you don't get your armor up on your soup fast enough, you're going to get hit. If you don't get your tornado out fast enough, you're going to get hit. The helicopter move by Iron Giant is really good against Taz. It's good against a lot of characters in the game. It kills a lot of characters early, but in Taz particular, with his weight and his build, when you find yourself getting hit with a helicopter off the side of the screen, you're probably going to die. Another problem in this matchup is that the hit stun is just non-existent in this matchup. Like, even in the beta, like when you hit Iron Giant, you could get your strings going, but in this version of the game, it just seems like if you're not doing very, very specific things to him or going for frame traps as opposed to strings, he's gonna press the advantage out of disadvantage and turn it around on you, and it's just a really shitty feeling. Currently, he's an extremely busted character. He probably has some bad matchups like Samurai Jack, for instance, but in this version of the game, at least, this is your worst matchup. When you see Iron Giant on the screen and you're loading into a match as Taz, you should be terrified. Next, we have Tom and Jerry. This character's just overtuned. He's not here specifically just because he beats Taz, but he's here because he is like one of the best characters in the game in the 1v1 format. He's got some really egregious stuff. Paddle loops, Jerry shot, rocket, like disadvantage stay off the side. He's really hard for Taz to gimp. The angle you want to take a tornado or a dog pile, most of the time you'll get hit by Jerry shot off stage or up rocket off stage, or fuck, even fish and pull. It's actually really hard for Taz to gimp him as opposed to other characters. You have to do it a specific way, and if the Tom and Jerry mixes up his recovery, it's going to be really hard to pin him down. Next, we got Steven Universe. Steven Universe is like, he's probably got a pretty good matchup spread as a character altogether. I can't imagine there's a lot of characters that have a fun time fighting Steven. The issue with the Taz matchup for Steven is that he just outranges you so hard. Like, both these characters are supposed to be stubby, but Steven ends up being extremely disjointed. I mean, Shield Surf is damn near uncontestable. Sair will reverse your grounded soups, so like you'll charge an armored soup, he'll Sair it, you'll get hit with it. Watermelon Steven isn't really that much of a problem in this matchup, you know, just spam sandwich. Maybe if he gets caught in a tornado, you might kill him, but you'll probably get hit for putting the Watermelon Steven in a tornado, which can be kind of annoying. All in all, like, it's a matchup that if Steven gets tuned down a little bit to where he's a more respectable character, I could see Taz doing this, like going even with him or being -1. But for right now, in the current version of the game, it's absolutely terrible. Next up, we're going to go into the -1 tier. So we have Arya in the -1 tier. She's a swordy. Taz is a really stubby character. Most of the time, you'll see a trend in this tier list to where if they have a sword or massive disjoints, you're going to have a hard time boxing with them. Taz is a boxing character. He wants to get in and trade with you and force your burst options out and whiff punish and challenge you with super fast combo starters like IED Dare, IED Nair, jab 1-2 into up tilt, stuff like that. And Arya's just superior at it. She has a sword, she's really fast. Now that she got nerfed on the down tilt to where there's a little bit more lag on it, you will be able to hit a couple IED punishes on her down tilts when she whiffs them. It's still not super consistent, it's still not super laggy. Like, I genuinely feel like that move should have Batman dash attack levels of end lag, and it doesn't. But that's where it's at. She was a -2, now she's a -1, and she could still be a -2. It's just, you know, I'm only in Master 5, and on my climb to Master, I've barely seen any Aryas, so what that tells me is that they're all like Grandmaster, Master 1 area, and I haven't been paired with them. So, next, let's go on to Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny is a character that in the beta we did very well against. We were always happy to see a Bugs Bunny in ranked queue because we could just invalidate half of his game plan. That was a little annoying probably for the Bugs characters, and the developers chose to tone that down, which was probably a good choice. Taz Eat was one of the more complained about moves in the beta, along with Dogpile Dare, which was also removed from the game. And now it's got us in a situation where we potentially lose this matchup. You know, it could be even, it could be argued to be even, but I'll put it in -1. So the reason that I put it in -1 and not -2, you know, is because, like, even though he can play his game with his safe now, and we kind of just have to let him do what he wants, at the same time, when he comes to box us with jump in forward airs or jump in down airs or jump at you nairs, whatever it may be that he chooses to go for his boxing options, grounded soup is going to invalidate that. So Bugs Bunny is going to be really annoyed with you when you're fighting him. You're going to be doing a lot of grounded soups to armor past his approaches, and he's going to wait on his cooldowns and try to fight you with those instead, which can make it a very tedious matchup. But at the end of the day, Bugs Bunny is just such a good character. He's just straight up, strictly a better character than Taz, that it results in it being a -1 matchup. He's just got so many tools, and he's got so many ways to kill you. It's really hard to get down when he's sharking you. The bat is so good. The Nair is so good. But it is a fun matchup, though. It is a fun matchup. So let's go into the Finn matchup. Next, we got the Finn matchup. Finn just got nerfed, and this was a -2 matchup. It's not a -2 matchup anymore now. It's more like a -1, potentially even. With more research under my belt, I could potentially see it being even. The reason being is that the same patch that he got nerfed, we also got our grounded soup buff to where it will just straight kill you now. So if he's charging at you with a jab and you get a good charge on your soup and you hit him with it, he might die at like 90 off the top of the screen and just straight up explode. Also, Finn doesn't have the best recovery now since Gem got removed from the game. He's still got a pretty hard to challenge recovery. He can stall himself in the air with up air for a long time, but he's just leaving himself susceptible to dogpile and tornado shenanigans when he does that. A lot of Finns like to do their side special in the air towards the ledge when they're trying to recover, just as an aggressive option, and Taz can just soup that and kill him for it. So Finn has superior boxing to Taz. Obviously, he has a sword. Anytime you see a sword in the matchup, you're going to have a hard time since you're so stubby. But it's playable now. It's playable now. I still don't enjoy playing Finn, but it's playable now. So now we got Jake. Now, Jake is one of them characters that I feel like is heavily downplayed by the community. He's got some really good tools. He's got some stuff that might not feel very well in the current system, you know, especially with the techs. Skateboard, I'm hearing a lot of complaints about skateboard, but he's just got moves that just make skateboard irrelevant, you know. You got Sarah, which is one of the best moves in the game. You got his Nair and his Nair 2, which is an incredible move, impossible to challenge, massively disjointed, and actually quite hard to avoid. You have Horse and Remix Horse, I like to call it, where he just does it back and forth and stuff. It could be hard to challenge. Now, you can armored soup that. It's not something that you just have to eat and deal with. You do have options of dealing with it. Of course, you could also jump over him and then IED after him and try to hit a dare or something like that. Chase him down. But overall, he just wins this matchup, you know. He puts you on the ledge, and you can't just, like, tornado to protect yourself while you crawl to the wall. You will just get Sarah out of that. Sarah on the ledge is devastating for Taz. He's also quite hard to gimp. One of the best things about Taz in this game, it's been the same way since the vanilla version of the beta, is that he's just incredible at gimping. You know, he's basically in the beta. He was a makeshift Superman, and now he's better than Superman is in this game at horizontal assassinations. Superman, to me, feels like a more vertical character now with the up special armor. And Taz is looking for dog pile sayers and tornadoes off the side, so... yeah. Next, we're going to talk about Morty. Morty is a character that was a -2 matchup at one point. Just an extremely overtuned character. He had so much stuff going for him. I remember in the beta, all the way into the end of the beta till they shut it down, Morty was absolutely the #1 character in the game. He was ridiculous. His Sair was twice as active as it is now. Way easier to combo into. His grenades were just as strong as they are now. In doubles, he was a force to be reckoned with because of his rewind technique. And in this version of the game, it's a little tough, you know, especially since the most recent nerf to Taz. I feel like genuinely, if they didn't nerf the air momentum on his Nair when he IED'd, this matchup would be even right now. But because Morty's dodge is so long, it's so hard to actually pin him down. And if you just so happen to IED Nair at him after he dodges and you come a little bit short, you're going to eat a dirt, and you're going to eat an up air, and you're going to take 25%, and then he's going to shark you. And it's really hard to get down when Morty's sharking you, especially if it's a good Morty. So, -1 it is for now. I also have Gizmo a -1. I really want to put Gizmo a -2. I might put Gizmo a -2. Let me see here. So this character is just ridiculous. I mean, he's got an up special that automatically homes into you. You can't challenge it whatsoever. If he whiffs it and you go to whiff punish it, he can throw out an up air before the active frames of the up special seemingly are even gone. And he's just a ridiculous character. Arrow is a ridiculous combo starter, and it always seems to be off cooldown for him. Car is damn near undodgeable. If the Gizmo is good at playing the mind game with the car, you're going to find yourself getting hit by the car more often than not in the matchup. A lot of the times I'll just try to go to the other side of the screen, get him to chase me, and then just do a regular dodge on the ground through them, and that'll get me out of it most of the time. But if you try to go above it or anything like that, you're going to get exploded. You're going to die at like 60. You're going to be pissed. So this character is just a little bit overtuned right now. It's cool that Gizmo is one of the stronger characters in the game. It's unfortunate that he's as annoying to fight as he is currently. If Anvil was as good as it was in the beta, this matchup would probably be +1 for Taz, but unfortunately it's not. So then we got Black Adam. Now Black Adam is an absolute menace. Everybody hates Black Adam. There's a lot of characters that Black Adam just flat out invalidates. You know, he probably has a really good matchup versus Tom and Jerry, versus Marvin, versus Stripe, versus Rick, versus Velma, versus Rain Dog. You know what I mean? He's just got a lot of good matchups probably based off of his barrier. But in this matchup in particular, the problem with Black Adam is his flight mechanic. So Taz's biggest weakness is people going over him when he's trying to get his edge guard gimps. You know, sometimes you can punish somebody heavily for that if you can get there quick enough, but Black Adam just goes so goddamn high for little resources that most of the time when you put him off stage, he's just going to come back for free, and you're going to want to back up and reset the neutral, which is incredibly annoying after securing a stage advantage to have to just give it up immediately because he has flight. But that's the matchup. On the bright side, the reason that this isn't a -2 matchup is because he's a big body and Taz's combos work fantastic against him. Everything that you want to work is going to work against him. Your dog pile Sairs are going to work. Your Nair into Sairs are going to work. Your down air into Nair into jab into Sair, or into jab into soup is going to work. You know, everything you need to work is going to work on him. When you hit him, you can punish him heavily. You're also fast enough to catch him when he does his side special out of hit stun, which is a big problem for a lot of matchups. It's pretty much an extra dodge for Black Adam, but Taz does have the mobility to chase him down, so you have that going for him. Also, when Black Adam is sharking from above with down airs, out of flight cancels, and stuff of that nature, your sandwich is really good in this matchup. So I do believe that once Black Adam gets toned down a little bit, we might even win this matchup +1, but for the most part, it'll probably be even. Next, we got Jack. So Jack is, on releases, was a -2. It's just a clean -2. He could straight up jab one you out of your tornadoes and dog piles, which is insane, but he could do that. Now the jab has been nerfed, he can't do that anymore, but he still has a sword, which is going to make it hard for you to deal with as Taz. I mean, there's times when I tornado at Jack's charging their side special and they hit me clean out of it, and there's times when I do tornado and they're doing side special and I hit them out of it, and I really don't know what the reason is. It happens at all different distances of the slash, so if it's right at the startup, you'll probably win as Taz. If it's in the middle, it's 50-50, and if it's at the longer range, Jack will probably just hit you out of it. So it's pretty much how you can look at it. If your tornado's not going to hit him like right in his face as he's starting up his slash, you're probably going to lose that interaction. But all in all, Jack's one of them characters that Taz can gimp. You know, Jack has a decent recovery with his slash, but like he could just slash himself into a dog pile right above his head and then he's going to die. You know, he's really good at sharking. You can't just land on Jack with nairs like you can in a lot of matchups because his up tilt will absolutely blow you up for it. Other than that, the matchup's pretty straightforward. It's a fun matchup to play, and Jack's a good character, and I also play Jack. My Jack's only Diamond 5, but he's a cool character. It's a cool matchup, but we do lose it slightly. So now we have Joker. Joker's received a lot of nerfs. One of the nerfs being the distance on his dodge range, which did matter a lot before we had the momentum nerfed on our nair, but now that the momentum's nerfed on our nair, it does seem like Joker's dodge is again just a little bit too far away again, or a little bit too long. Joker's one of the top 3 characters in the game. He might even be the best character in the game. It's really hard to say right now. Unless you're fighting like a Sakai level player, it is a winnable matchup. You can win it, but it's always going to be an uphill battle. I mean, he's going to jab one you. The jab's going to anti-air you. It's going to anti-air you if you're behind him. The crowbar is going to be anything that you can do. It's going to hit you out of your dog pile. It's going to hit you out of your tornadoes. The cards are off cooldown way too fast. They're really hard to deal with. It's hard to actually eat the cards. You can't eat the Joker cards. You never see it coming. And his combo juggle is really consistent on Taz to the point where Taz is at that perfect weight where like around 55 to 65, if he hits that pogo on you, you might die off the top, depending on which stage you're on, consistently. And it is a problem, so we do lose this matchup, but after this, the nerfs that he has received, even though he's not nerfed enough yet, he still needs to be toned down. It is a matchup that's winnable. It's not a fun matchup, and we do lose the matchup, but you can win the matchup. Now, Banana Guard, I'm actually going to move Banana Guard down to -2. This matchup is absolutely terrible. Everything you do, Banana Guard can beat it out with his disjoints. He can just Sair you out of tornado, out of dog pile. His side special is going to hit you out of both of them. He doesn't have to respect you at all. He doesn't have to respect any of your game plan. Anything that he does out of hit stun will punish you for going for a fake string if it's not a frame trap. And it'll be very frustrating to play. Now, most Banana Guards are just not at the level to where it's demoralizing to play them, but every once in a while you'll find a pro player that's bored playing on Banana Guard, and they'll blow you up for it, and you'll be like, what the fuck? But this is one of Taz's worst matchups for sure. There's really not much to say about it. You can ask around the Taz community, they'll let you know too that this matchup is pretty tough. Now, I got Beetlejuice in -1 right now. He is pretty new, but he did just get overtuned just because he didn't do so well on his release, and obviously he has a movie coming too, so he needs to be overtuned. One of the easiest ways to make a character overtuned in this game is to give them massive strings off of their jab. Joker and Beetlejuice, funnily enough, with both green hair, can jab you into up tilt, into 50-50, you're dead. Off the top now. And it's super hard to deal with, you know. Taz doesn't have anything where he can just get you like that, you know. Even Beetlejuice, oh, let's take this for example. Beetlejuice and Joker, you know, if they hit you with that and then they read your dodge, they might just be able to kill you off one dodge read. Well, where Taz might have to get both of your dodges and then pull you horizontally off stage and then gimp you to the sides, where he, you know what I mean. Just not being able to gimp off the top is a problem. It's way harder to gimp off the side than it is to gimp off the top, and these characters that gimp off the top are overtuned right now, so you're going to see them very prominently. Alright. Not much to say about Beetlejuice. He's just overtuned right now. I'm sure they'll bring him more in line with the rest of the cast when they figure out some of the other balancing that's going on in the game. Okay, so next we got Batman and Even. This is going to surprise a lot of people. From here on out, everything in this tier list is going to surprise a lot of people, but I just genuinely believe that this is factual. So Batman was a -2 matchup in the vanilla version of the official release of this game, but now that he's been toned down quite a bit, we're starting to see that, you know, Batman players are getting frustrated and stuff. Don't get me wrong, this character's still privileged as fuck. He can still do whatever he wants. Anything he hits you is a combo starter. He's really fast. You know, everything that he does is a burst option. Batarang is off cooldown way too fast. He has it way too often. But for the most part in this matchup, now that dive kick has been slightly nerfed, we can challenge the dive kick with a sandwich. We can also space it so that we come at him from a horizontal angle and hit him in his chest above his foot with like nairs or something and win that interaction now. And it's a lot more easier to deal with. Also, once the dash attack got nerfed, that put him straight to a -1 because we could actually have a good whiff punish on Batman. And Batman's really light, you know, so if you have them weakness stacks on him, and you hit him with that tornado at 90, he might just die off the top of the screen, straight explode, you know, and that's always going to be a problem that Batman players have to deal with, similar to Harley players. But yeah, this matchup was terrible in the vanilla version. After the first initial nerf for Batman, it brought it down to a -1. It wasn't as terrible. It was still terrible. Now it's even, and it's actually become quite an enjoyable matchup to play. So next we got Harley. Harley's had some ups and downs, but for the most part, if we're talking specifically Taz matchups, which we are right now, Sarah is just an unchallengeable button from Harley. Anytime you hit Harley and they just IED out of hit stun straight into Sarah, unless you were preemptively spitting out a grounded soup, because you can't charge it, it's 2 hits, it'll break it, you were gonna get super annoyed. Harley's one of them characters where the people are just like super disrespectful out of disadvantaged state. And as long as you're looking for that, then you can punish them accordingly, you know, because like not every pattern in this game has a way for it to be punished, and if you deal with the problems accordingly, you will be rewarded. But this matchup's even now. At the vanilla version of this game, it was a -2 because she was that overtuned. At the vanilla version of this game, she was absolutely ridiculous. You had people spamming Harley in Q. Everything she did just worked. She has unchallengeable buttons. She still has unchallengeable buttons, but something about her, and you know, I play a little Harley myself, but I played her after the nerf, so I couldn't really tell what was different, but something about her feels a little limited on how she can chase you. Some Harley players are really good at chasing for the shark, and some Harley players just seems like if you get away from them farther enough, they just can't shark you anymore, where, yeah, I don't know, but this actually is a fun matchup to play. In the beta version of this game, we won this matchup +2 because we'd eat her Jack in the Box, we'd eat her bombs, we'd eat her side special, we'd eat her down air, and it would give us an anvil that was like a lightning bolt. And now we're paying for our sins in the beta, and now this matchup is even, potentially -1. But even because it's one of the matchups that, like, you know, it's not too, it's kind of fun to play, and it's always winnable. Unlike these matchups down here, which are completely unwinnable. Next, we got Shaggy. This is going to be a super hot take. People are going to flame me for this, but I think Shaggy and Taz is even. Shaggy has to box. Taz wants you to box him. You know, he doesn't have any swords. Grounded Soup is super good in this matchup. Tornado beats Shaggy Kick. Sometimes. There's been instances where it doesn't win. Same with Dogpile, but for the most part, Dogpile and Tornado will beat Shaggy Kick. So if you're fighting one of them mid-level Shaggies and you're not fighting like a professional like Fat Pack or something, you know what I mean, you're going to be able to exploit that quite often. Also, Grounded Soup at the ledge is something that Taz does now as of 2 patches ago that just kills people, and Shaggy can't just shark the ledge and then uppercut to get back on stage. He's got to play the game. So Taz actually has things that make Shaggy annoyed. And that's why I think the matchup is even. All in all, Shaggy will still hit you with crazy combos. He's really good at frame trapping you. No matter which way you dodge, he can get there. And rage moves are still incredibly overtuned. They're always going to be busted. They're limit break moves. And they're meant to be good, and they always will be. So potentially could be a -1, but because of the way that Shaggy has to engage with Taz, I'm going to put it in even. The worst part about the matchup is Shaggy's weight and all the times that Taz has moves that just barely don't kill Shaggy at a higher %. And he just gets to charge for free. Yeah, but he can do that to every character, so let's move on. LeBron James. We got LeBron James and even. Obviously, we can eat his basketballs. That's going to be super annoying for him. Anytime there's a character that could do something to make LeBron's basketballs less of a issue in the matchup, LeBron's going to be heavily annoyed. But the matchups, even because both the characters just work against each other. You know, LeBron's combos work on Taz, Taz's combos work on LeBron. Both have high gimp potential for each other, and it's just a fun matchup to play. Personally, I don't like fighting LeBron at all. I think that he's one of the most annoying characters to fight in the game. Super downplayed as well. He's a solid character for sure. There's nothing wrong with this character. But yeah, it's pretty even. Next, we got Stripe. You can't eat Buzzsaw anymore. You used to be able to eat Buzzsaw, and it would give you a lightning bolt anvil. which was really nice. Now Anvil sucks, and you can't eat the saw anymore, which really sucks for us. But all your combos work on Stripe, and he's light, which is actually pretty rare, because like characters like Marvin, for instance, or like Finn or Morty or Gizmo, like your combos don't work on them as good as they should because of their lighter weight. They just take less hit stun, it seems like, and they can just IED out even if you're airtight with your string. Stripe, that doesn't happen with. You can just hit Stripe with all your stuff. Your Nairs always put them in front of you for the chomp. Your dares always let you hit that falling nair into jab, which is nice, and tornado kills them really early. So Stripes, if you're fighting a good Stripe, it will seem like it's a harder matchup, but now that Soup in the air and Soup on the ground aren't considered projectiles, and he can't just up special through them, this matchup, it's not bad. If you fight Dark Knight, he's gonna body you though. That's just factual. Next we got Marvin. Now this character is super fucking annoying, but you can eat a lot of the stuff that he does. If Anvil was as good as it was in the beta, we'd win this matchup for free, but because Anvil is basically worthless, this matchup's quite hard now. It is even because Marvin has a hard time killing and you're Taz, so you don't have a hard time killing, but just dealing with the boss character is probably annoying for any character, so that's not really a justification to put him in -1, right? It's just an even matchup, but it's going to be a long match. Next we got Agent Smith. Now I got Agent Smith in even. Before he got buffed, he was in +1 for Taz, but now that he got buffed, he's actually quite scary. He's got a lot of things that can seriously just blow you up. I mean, he could do side special pistol on your tornado and just evaporate your stock. His clone just seems to be good against Taz because it'll catch your dash attacks, grab you out of tornado and whatnot. But your combos work on him, and honestly, when Taz is working in this game, he's a phenomenal character. There's certain matchups, like I mentioned earlier, where the hit stun for his combos is just not there, and it seems like it might be weight dependent, but when your combos are working, you're a super annoying character. You know, nobody likes dealing with tornado, nobody likes dealing with cooldown tornado, nobody likes dealing with dog pile, nobody likes dealing with soup spam. You know, dash attack's really good, sandwich is really good. He's just a good character. So even though Agent Smith is a better character now, I don't think he's a better character than Taz, and in the matchup in particular, Taz gets to do all the stuff that he wants to do. He's not limited in any way. So Garnet's a +1 matchup. So a lot of these matchups in the +1 you're going to see are because one reason only, that Taz's moves work like they're supposed to, but even better. So like a lot of the times when you're playing any of these characters in this tier, but we'll talk about Garnet specifically for now, you're going to do Nair into Sayer, and it's going to give you ground bounces and stuff. It's going to extend your combos. It's going to be really nice. Your raw IED Sayers are going to give you ground bounces for double Sayer, and it's going to feel good. But this matchup in particular, I think Garnet's really strong right now. She's super downplayed right now. She's got a lot of stupid shit. She pretty much can do what Superman does horizontally, or what he used to do with her kit now. So super annoying. You can eat the gauntlet. Eating the gauntlet does not make the star not appear. Star still appears. You can armor break with your dare. You can throw the armor break dash attack perk on, which I don't recommend. You should always be running the 100 perk. And just give Garnet's armor no will to live, and your combos work great on her. Garnet's combos work pretty good on Taz too, but Taz is so fast and Garnet is so slow that I feel like that gives him the edge in the matchup. She's not necessarily super slow, but she's just slow enough to where Taz's assassin-like movement is noticeable. Next we got Rain Dog. Now this is where Taz shines a lot in these matchups, is where these characters just spam projectiles, and he can just eat them. I just don't have to deal with it. You know, you want to sit on one side of the screen and spam fireballs all game, I'm just going to eat them, and sometimes I'll eat you too in the process, or force you to dodge at least, you know. Plus, all your combos work on Rain Dog like you want them to. There's no issues there. He has a hard time killing Taz. It just seems like his up tilt into up air just is not, it's really hard to hit on Taz. You'll get out of jail free a lot of times when they're going for that. He is hard to gimp though. He can go above everything that you do quite easily and pretty fast, but despite that, it's still pretty easy to pin him down as Taz because you're so fast, and when you do hit him, he's a big body, so he's gonna go through the string. Next we got Superman. People will argue with me to the moon and back that Superman beats Taz, but it's just straight up Not true. Taz just beats this character, and the reason being is that like you combo him like he's Jason Voorhees. Tornado beats his side command grab off the side, what she spams against a lot of matchups, and you just can't do anything about it. Soup also beats it, but Tornado beats it clean, and if you just so happen to catch him out of resources where he has to flight to get back to the stage because he burned both of his dodges because he's a Superman player and they just spam their dodges, he's probably going to die. That being said, though, Superman does have some things that are nice in the matchup, like Grounded Up special will beat Tornado sometimes. It's 50-50 on which way it's going to work. Probably it just depends on where he's at in the arc. But Superman's can do that. Superman's just been heavily nerfed, man. The Nair momentum nerf on Superman and the Sair momentum nerf on Superman just really brought him down a little bit. And, oh, by the way, Laser Eyes in the Taz matchup works every time. It does not have any problems. That move works 100% of the time. In this matchup, so I'm just not sure if there's other matchups where it doesn't, but in the Taz matchup, if you put them lasers down and I'm standing on the ground sleeping at the wheel, I'm gonna get hit, no question. Ice Breath is it's a problem to deal with, but it's not something that you should think too much about because it will be addressed. They addressed it in the beta. They reverted it in the vanilla version because they didn't think that it was going to be as strong as it is again, and it is that strong again, but it'll probably see some changes, so I wouldn't hold your breath on the Ice Breath determining how good the matchup is. Next we got Wonder Woman. This is one of Taz's best matchups in the game to use him in. Like, if you play Taz, this is who you want to play Taz to beat. You want to play Taz to beat Wonder Woman. You can do rising, approaching dares, get through all her armor shenanigans. She's in that weight class where all your combos work on her. You can eat her or her teammates when they have armor. You can run the armor dash attack perk. You got one of the best, if not the best, dash attacks in the game. And just get rid of that armor swiftly. I don't know, dude. I feel like this is one of Taz's stronger meta matchups in the game. Obviously, it's going to be Superman and her that are super meta characters that you actually do decent against. So, if you're having problems with Wonder Woman, I'd suggest that you try Taz. 2v2s I can't speak on. Wonder Woman, I don't know. Even with the armor nerf, she might still be overpowered in 2s. But in 1v1s, if you're having problems with Wonder Woman, Taz might be your secondary. Next we got Velma. Velma just got buffed to smithereens. I was playing Velma before she got buffed. She was already good. Megaphone was already super demonic in this version of the game, in the vanilla version of the game, and now she's super strong. So now she got her camera back, which was something that I thought she should have, but now seeing it in practice, it is really annoying to deal with. But it's healthy. It's healthy, you know. Characters should have moves that function. But she's really strong now in 2v2s. I'm pretty sure we're going to see her being like one of the most dominant characters in 2s at some point in the game. Probably like a Wonder Woman Velma comp again, something like that. If Kasalix was playing again and he was playing Velma, he'd be shitting on kids. So maybe he'll come play again. I don't know. But we still win this matchup. It's still Velma in 1v1s. I mean, if you lose to Velma in 1v1s, which I did on my Road to Masters video, it's just a skill diff. You just got diffed. Alright, next we got Rick. This is another one of our meta matchups, specifically in 1v1s too, because he's so much more popular in 1v1s than he is in 2s. He's just a little bit harder to get his engine going in 2s than it is in 1s when he can be self-sufficient. We can eat the lasers. We can eat the Meeseeks. Our combo game works on Rick, and he's lighter, which is bad for him because that means like stuff like just anti-air nair at the ledge into Sair is probably going to kill him at like 90. He's just going to die. It's a pretty fun matchup too, honestly. The Ricks are going to run around from side of screen to side of screen. You're playing Taz, so you're fast enough to chase them. And, you know, Rick's got some good boxing tools. Taz got some good boxing tools. But all in all, I think Taz's assassination skills like Dog Pile and Tornado are going to give him the advantage because Rick might find himself struggling to kill, trying to land a jab into Lasso to close out the stock and just, like, letting Taz just wreak havoc. So, basically, long story short, Taz wins this matchup slightly because Rick has slightly harder time killing than Taz does, where Taz doesn't even have to think about killing and Rick has to be a little bit more efficient. Then we got Jason Voorhees. This character's crazy right now. He's absolutely crazy right now. If you're having problems with Jason Voorhees, play Taz, because Taz just straight abuses this character. Jason got heavily overtuned now because he was so bad. Even since the initial release, they felt bad that they couldn't get him to a working state in the original version of the game that he was released in. So now he's overtuned to hell, and now he's just ridiculous. But oh, does a Jason hate to see Taz at that loading screen? You know how many times I've queued into a Jason as Taz and they just left, took the RP loss and left. Oh fuck, pre-patch when we had the jab loops on Jason, it was so bad for this character. We literally just jab soup him until 40 and then put him into a triple Sair Nair loop because ground bounce automatic teching wasn't in yet. It caused a ground bounce. Take him clear off the side of the stage and then just tornado, and what is he gonna do? You know? Now it's not that bad. You do actually have to respect Jason. Now don't get me wrong when I'm saying just pick Taz and fight Jason and you're probably gonna win. But if you're respectful of the Jason's jab approaches and how he's fishing for it, and you get your punishes are gonna do mad damage against him. He doesn't really have anything that he can mash out of hit stun besides command grab now that it has armor to get out of your frame trap. So a lot of them are gonna try to dodge, and if they try to dodge and you chase it, they're gonna eat another 20% just from Nair into Sair. So this is a good matchup. Your Dare breaks his armor. You can run the dash attack perk and break his armor on his neutral special move, so it's not as egregious to deal with. In some matchups, that move is terrifying. Like imagine being like, let me look, who was I playing the other day with no armor break? I was playing somebody with no. Oh, I was playing Batman, dude. I have an unranked Batman. I was playing Batman. I didn't have the dash attack perk. I was playing a Jason. He popped that move, and it's like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Run for my life for 25 seconds till it goes away? So yeah, that's it. But that's my season 2 matchup spread for Taz. All in all, I think he's a really strong character. He gets heavily downplayed, similar to how the Harleys were downplaying when they were fishing for buffs, similar to how the Supermans are downplaying because they're fishing for buffs, you know, and similar to how the Mortys were downplaying because they were fishing for buffs. And you know, he's actually just a good character. So he's really strong at 1s. And 2s, he's probably just not as good as he is in 1s. Just because it's so hard for him to interrupt, because he'll usually get hit for interrupting with stuff like Tornado and Dash Attack. But yeah, he's a really good character in 1v1, so I hope he's good in Season 3 too, because I'll still be playing him, even if he's bad. And hopefully I'll be able to hit Masters again with him for another season. But if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If there's stuff in the matchup chart that you want to discuss in the comments, you know, feel free to hit me up. My Twitter is the same as my YouTube, so you can find me there as well. And hope everybody's having a good day.